Hello, good evening. This is your STV News at 6 live from Edinburgh. Breaking news tonight, and Hearts have signalled their intention to enter administration. After months of speculation about the future of the club, administrators are expected to be appointed within the next 24 hours. It means jobs at Tynecastle will be under threat. Well, live now to Nick Rugby, who's been following developments. Nick.
Hearts are indeed on the brink of administration. The inevitable culmination, some might say, of what's been happening at the club over the past 18 months to 2 years, and amidst the insolvency of the parent company Ubig in Lithuania. There was a short statement posted on the Hearts website shortly after 5 o'clock today. It simply says, Heart of Midlothian plc can today confirm that it has served a notice of intention to appoint an administrator. The notice was served at the Court of Session in Edinburgh this afternoon. Short, sharp and to the point. And of course, events began to take a turn for the worst, I suppose, towards the end of last week, when there was that dramatic and brutally honest statement about what was happening at the club. They appealed for supporters to dig deep to help keep the club afloat. They simply said they didn't have the income stream to keep paying the players, and today is the inevitable consequences of that. Here's the reaction of one former chairman at the club.
What it needs now is swift action to sort out the situation in Lithuania, so that we know that that complicated, difficult situation becomes clearer, and quick action to get in potential investors to join with the Foundation of Hearts to make sure that we have a viable and sensible ownership option for the future.
Well, KPMG, the financial firm, they've been put on notice that they will be the administrators for Heart of Midlothian FC. And we do know that there are at least two groups interested in taking over. One, a Scandinavian consortium, and the other, the Foundation of Hearts, that conglomeration of supporters groups who have been trying to raise money to keep the club afloat. And they've told me tonight that they do expect there to be significant job losses within the club. Already, remember that the first team squad is just 26 strong, pretty threadbare, and they're already up for sale as a result of what was happening last week at Hearts. Many differing opinions, of course, of what the best course of action might be. The Foundation of Hearts say the move into administration is simply disastrous. Back to you.
Nick, thank you very much indeed for that. And of course, we'll have more on those developments coming up in sport.
Well, as we've heard earlier in the programme, Hearts have today signalled their intent to go into administration. We're joined now from Westminster by MP Ian Murray, the chairman of the Foundation of Hearts. Ian, thanks for joining us. Obviously a hugely worrying time for all those involved at the club. But in terms of moving forward financially, is this a process that had to happen?
I think so, and our thoughts at this moment in time go out to all the staff who are employed by Heart of Midlothian Football Club. This is a tough time for them. It's a tough time for the fans, but it's certainly the toughest time for them. But perhaps administration will provide some clarity, and that might allow us to go forward slightly quicker than anybody who wanted to buy the club's been able to do so up until now.
What does this mean for your bid for the club? How does it progress things?
Well, it allows us to talk to just one Scottish administrator, KPMG, which I think brings a little bit of clarity. Some of the bodies we've been trying to contact in Lithuania to put this bid together, it's been somewhat difficult. So it provides some clarity there. It'll also provide some clarity around the current financial situation at the club, and I'm sure everyone will know that there has been some dubiety about the figures that have been coming out, constantly asking the fans for support and indeed selling season tickets. So hopefully there might be a silver lining to this very, very dark cloud on the club today, and that might provide some clarity for anybody who wants to purchase the football club.
You mentioned the season tickets. For supporters who have pledged money, for those who are still deciding whether to become involved, what do you say to them now?
Well, I say quite clearly to Hearts fans, there's been a significant amount of speculation about people who may or may not want to buy the club. We've heard about a Scandinavian bid potentially today, which hasn't transpired. We've heard about American bids and indeed bids from all over the world. But really the only credible bid and the only people who are actually on television and writing in newspapers that do have the potential to put a bid forward is the Foundation of Hearts. So really we're asking fans if they can afford to pledge to the Foundation of Hearts to go on the website, do the pledges, and we'll put in a credible bid for the club. Otherwise, I can't see any white knight being out there at this moment in time. But hopefully if the Foundation of Hearts is not successful, one thing we will have been able to do is flush out any other potential bidders, and that might be good for the football club in the long term.
Well, Ian, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and there will be more on the future of Hearts on this evening's edition of Scotland Tonight.